Hello, hello, and hello. It is I, the great Daz, the man behind the scene. And yes, I am color coordinated today. My light represents, how can I say this? The both of these two marvelous women. One's blue, one's red, and I represent them both. They are two of the most dynamic mothers on this planet. They raise boys to be outstanding men. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the dynamic duo of Kimmy Kim Natson and Amanda Sykesick.
That seemed painful.
I-
That last one, that was a lot. I thought he was going to pass off.
The purple light is crafty, though.
I didn't exactly book that. Might be an LSU vibe as well.
That's kind of where I thought we were going, but
we'll go that he's in
the blend of us is
the blend of
Yes.
us. We'll go with
Yes. The red and the blue makes me love you.
I love it. I love it.
that. That's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's always a lot. It's good though.
Ladies, how are you?
I'm doing great. Just got
good.
back from vacation
Vacay.
with the family.
I love it.
It was amazing. I went parasailing with my eldest child. He wasn't a huge fan of it, but was glad that he'd done it in the end. So, yeah,
I love it when people do something outside of their comfort zone.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, it's kind of like flying for me in any apparatus, apparently. The takeoff and the landing are the best. Those are my favorite parts. The in-between stuff, I can find some pleasure in that, but this was lovely.
I love
Quite
that.
nice.
I love
Very
that.
nice.
How are you?
I am good. I had a great time. Went hiking with the boys, my nephew and your boys.
Yeah.
And that was really fun. And of course, we had game night. So I got a new nickname for Cody. Governor Sick.
I love it. It was the Monopoly game of all Monopoly games. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. It's probably best.
So, ladies, Pastor Steve, once again, closed out the series this Sunday with another baggage message.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he did a good job of wrapping it up and pulling kind of all the pieces in.
Yep. I did want to start just by reading, he sends out the week in advance what he's going to be discussing and talking about. And just a little, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but do you ever wonder why shame keeps coming back even after we've experienced freedom? Personal healing isn't the end goal. It's just the beginning of something even more beautiful. Shame is relentless, but so is grace.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because people do want to revisit, right? Because he also said that shame doesn't surrender easily when you're again not sharing the grace you've been given, not being in communion with other people. Or community, sorry, that's my Lutheran roots showing. And you have a lot of time to yourself to be quiet and ponder often, not for everybody, but there's a whole bunch of folks out there that will start to
Yeah.
slide back.
Yeah.
Because sliding back's always a little easier than, yeah. Is it easier going up the hike or down the hike? I mean, it's a
Right.
struggle trying to get out of a thing.
Yeah.
But kind of just slowly oozing back into that pain and shame,
Right.
and
Well,
that comes a little easier.
yeah. When he said, it's a tool of the devil, it just made me think of how easily we can take our eyes off of Jesus and forget who we are in him. It's like all of a sudden we completely just forget who our identity is, what our identity is.
Right.
And then, when your eyes are off that and you forget who you are, it's very easy, like you said, to spiral back into the past, the things you've done.
It's the familiar.
Right.
And can I jump in real quick?
Yeah.
Amanda, as you was saying that, it made me think about this. There's only two men that walked on water that we know of in history. That's Jesus and Peter.
Yeah.
Peter was able to walk on water
For a hot minute.
until he took his eyes off
Yep.
Christ.
Yeah.
So I was going to read Colossians 3, 12 through 14 part, but certainly should read all of it. Therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Bear with each other and forgive one another if any of you has a grievance against someone. Forgive as the Lord forgave you. And over all these virtues put on love, which binds them all together in perfect unity. I mean, he's telling us how to do it, who to do it to, why to do it. And it sounds like it should be doable, especially the part where if you've been granted grace, forgiveness, and you trust and believe in that, then we should be able to do that. Easier said than done.
Right. Yeah.
Because I got a couple folks in my life that I've walked with or I'm walking with, and I'm like,
Yeah.
let me re-rack.
Yeah.
Try that again.
True. And I love how Steve talked about it being a daily choice, right?
Yeah.
It's a daily choice, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. You have to take your thoughts captive. You're abiding. Gosh, we talk about that so much on the podcast, but abiding in Christ every single day. And just those daily habits of setting boundaries, of prayer, of being in the Word, remembering who you are. I mean, we are given these things so that we can fight the spiritual battle we are up against. I mean, you just think about Jesus in the wilderness. He fought back with the Word, with the truth.
Right.
And if you're not spending any time in the Word, what are you fighting back with?
Right.
Your own strength?
Just your wits.
Right.
Get your wits about
yeah, you're
Good luck
going
with
to
that one.
run dry real quick and
Yes.
wear out. And then you're very susceptible to the schemes of the devil.
Well, because he's everywhere.
Right.
I mean, he looks for those loopholes.
Yeah. I also love how he talked about healing is a journey and it's not a destination. Again, it kind of goes back to every day you're putting in the work, you're doing the steps, but you're doing that so that you can help others.
Yes.
Which we're called to in the Great Commission. But I just think too that we forget that our struggles, our story, the things that happen to us in our life are the most powerful gospel message that we can share, right? When our heart is transformed and we share that with others, and people that are going through something similar can relate in that, how transforming is that?
They are overcome by the words and the testimonies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Turning your pain into purpose.
Yes.
Yeah.
What you're going through, yes, it's for you at the moment, but it serves a bigger purpose.
Yeah.
And down the road, God brought you through that situation, that ordeal, so you can bring someone else through that's coming through the same right behind you.
Right.
They're coming through it. And by you sharing your story, your testimony, you empower them to persevere and press through and carry on.
Yeah, I think, as a church, we're called to live in unity, and we're in this together, right?
Yep.
We're one body. We're the body of Christ. And so we're only as strong as our weakest link. And so we're constantly just pulling people up and along with us to fulfill the purpose.
Too, we're not there to fix people.
Right.
We're
Which is
to
hard.
Walk along because your inclination is, well, this is what I did.
Yeah.
But he did give us some steps to how to be a wounded healer. So we've suffered that thing, come through on the other end by the grace of God, and now we have that in our toolbox. And if somebody needs, but these are the to share your story strategically. You don't just have to go on blast.
Yeah.
Listen with empathy, not advice. Because then it's you imposing yourself on somebody else, and that's not great.
I think it could induce more shame, right?
It could, because, well, geez, I didn't think about doing that. I mean, it could be an abundance of things could go wrong with that.
Right.
Create safe spaces, and I would add in there too boundaries.
Yeah.
And then point toward community, where this is the community of believers here at Northlake. And I'm sure if you asked anybody in the congregation, have you ever top 5 things? Everybody would raise their hand at some point.
Yeah.
Because everybody's gone through a thing.
Yeah. Right.
And hopefully with, God's guidance has come out on the other side. And so there's a treasure trove of people here and it's not always going to be Steve Spear.
No.
But he knows a lot of folks and a lot of their stories, and he is a great resource for that. So
I think the community piece is huge.
It is.
And I think people, it is hard. It is hard. It can be awkward to get plugged into community, but it can be the biggest blessing for you. And I mean, not just the encouragement piece, but holding you accountable, pointing you back to Jesus.
Yeah.
So many different things. And so I highly suggest people get plugged in.
Yeah. Well, I kind of went down a little rabbit hole about daily habits. Steve kind of mentioned it a bit. And, daily habits when you're living with shame or in shame, do you keep those when you've come out on the other side? I mean, I think that's where the slippery slope is.
Right.
If you don't really rid yourself of those and you're constantly looking in the rearview mirror, so you have to kind of upgrade those things too. The things that trigger you or put you in a headspace where you just keep conjuring up these things because that to me, I mean, for me, that puts me in a place where I don't believe God granted me grace for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when I asked him and he did it, I didn't believe him.
Right. I think you constantly have to be evaluating, right?
Yeah.
And I also think we need to remember that we are met where we are at. We aren't met back in our past, and we aren't met in the future. We're met right now where we're at. And there, I feel like there's peace in that.
Well, I agree. I think the past is important in that it shows you, when we're talking about shame, certainly it shows you where you don't want to go back.
Right.
And I can speak for myself and say that, thank you, Jesus, because good learning. Yeah. Well, sure, absolutely. But if I learned nothing from that, then it was, I can find it easy to dwell there. If you don't learn from the thing, that is where you live by your choice.
Yeah. It's hard. I don't know how many people listen to Lectio in the morning, but I have started doing it, and I just find so much joy in it. And this morning, it said, part of it, to sum it up really short, said, "Help me to illuminate your love to everyone I meet. I am a bright, invisible carrier of God's presence to every person I meet." And it just reminded me how, in the darkness, in the healing, in the muck, in the weeds, there is beauty, right?
Mm-hmm.
There is a beautiful thing that happens. And again, just going back to, we are not just healing for ourselves.
Yeah.
We're healing for all those around us and those that are coming up behind us. And it's life changing.
We're expected to share that. That
Right.
is exactly how we are supposed to walk through life, by sharing God's grace and love for us, and ridding ourselves of that believing that we've been. That's I guess that's the component, believing that that's been accomplished in our lives.
Yeah.
Because the constant backtracking is, you didn't quite get to the I believe I've been saved by grace part, maybe. So, I mean, we all need to work on it. We all find a way to, go where we don't want to go, do what we don't want to do, say what we don't want to say.
Absolutely.
We've talked about that so many times, but I think the other thing Steve mentioned was, how shame keeps score. It makes you bitter. It makes you disgruntled. It makes you kind of a
resentful.
Yeah, all
angry.
those things, and that is just the opposite of how I want to feel.
Absolutely.
On a daily basis.
Yeah.
I mean, have I done that? Yes. I've been all those things at one point or another, but not being there is so much better.
Right. And we're not alone in this, right?
No. Well, that's the thing. And to your point, it's hard to reach out. Can be a small thing, like we've talked about many times. You don't have to do it all at once. It's probably not going to happen all at once. But it's just one foot in front of the other.
Yes.
Day to day. Dwelling where we need to dwell, which is not in the past.
Right. Abide in Jesus.
Yeah.
Yes.
He is your strength.
Yeah.
He's your peace.
Yeah.
That whole abide thing.
Yeah.
And healing is it's a journey. It's not a destination, like you lady was talking about, And so it's that thing that really hit me when Steve said that, to give away grace.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because grace has been given to us, but do we freely give it to others? And I felt a little condemned, because I had to go back and like, ouch, that hurt, okay, Smitty, you can do better.
Yeah.
You can do better. And so I was like, okay, I got to practice even more of giving away grace.
Yeah,
I think so. Sometimes it's almost harder for me to give grace to myself than others. I'll like pass it out to other people, but when it comes to myself, I'm like, you're not worthy.
Well, yeah. How many times has grace only been extended to you once?
Yeah.
I mean, how many times have you asked for it?
Right.
And how many times has it been given?
Yeah.
But how many times have you given it to somebody else?
Yeah.
I find one of my struggles, if you will, is meeting people where they are.
Yes.
Because I don't know your story. I'd like to know your story, but if I already think I know your story, that's not going to happen. So I need to slow my roll on that kind of talk in my head, because I don't know you.
Yeah.
I'd like to.
Yeah.
Right.
But
and everybody's
just
walking
comes from
through
time
it.
and energy with people and extending grace.
Yeah.
Steve had the daily practices too. There are a couple are kind of he's mentioned before, but speaking truth to yourself, again, we've talked about that, where you need to, that self-dialogue, you can't keep beating yourself up over it. If you really want to ask for grace and stop the behavior, stop the way you feel, you need to be quiet about it and really be in prayer about it and ask earnestly.
Yeah.
Practice receiving grace. That's part of that is, well, I gave you what you asked for and you didn't want it. So it's like getting a picky kid to eat. You said you wanted mac and cheese. That's exactly what we waited for you. And then now you don't want it. Okay, cool.
Oh, so
I mean, really dumbed
so
it
many
down.
of us
Sorry
can
about
relate to that.
Having intentional relationship, again, that's finding somebody that you can do that with. Boundaries that protect your progress, because for every step you make toward receiving that grace, Satan's going to kind of try and come to snatch your joy, right? He's just
Yeah.
going to. And then giving grace away. The more you give away, the more you keep. Because I think that just like shame or all those negative things that come with that, the more of that you give away, the more you keep too, because it just, the fire gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
But I think I'd rather have a grace fire than a grudgy, mean-spirited,
Totally.
sneery thing, you know?
Yeah. Well,
So-
I mean, I'd rather sit in the furnace with Jesus than sit on the mountaintop by myself or with Satan.
Yep.
All right, Kimmy Kim, do you have any questions that you'd like to leave with the audience?
Yeah. How do you apply grace to your life, I guess? I mean, what does that look like for you in real time? How do you use the grace that's been granted to you on a workaday basis? I mean, that's again, easier said than done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
All righty. Here's the Dawes, and we're signing off. Hey, but before we do me a favor. Hit that like button. Thumbs us up so you can stay in the know and you can watch the show. Okay, until then, you know how we do it. We are out.